All right. Oh, gosh. Ladies and gentlemen, the next guest asked me to read this. Host of the most badass podcast in the country, Paul F. Tompkins. Hooray!
Hooray!
Yeah, one of my favorite bits. How you doing today, Paul?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
Oh, super excited to be having you in here, man.
It's very exciting.
Oh, well.
I'm taller, right, than you think I'm going to be.
You know what?
I think it's the suit. That definitely
height.
adds some height.
Yes. Yeah.
Lots of vertical stripes.
You're
It's
always
good for you.
extremely dignified in your appearance.
Always very well dressed, for sure.
Probably the best dressed comic in America, I'd say.
Did you say one of? Or?
No, I said probably the best dressed.
You want to be
That's what I
the,
like
right?
to hear.
No, the.
I want to be the. I feel like my chief competition is Greg Proops
Oh, my.
in the non-African American division.
Right. Absolutely.
Yes,
It
like
has
sort
to
of
be completely different divisions on
Yes,
that.
like Greg
Which
and I have-
African American beat you guys?
Oh my God, that's
Dude,
like,
Steve
that's
Harvey.
Like the big show.
I mean,
Okay, gotcha,
you see the
sure,
suits
sure.
that they wear on when they go up on
Cedric,
Yeah,
stage.
you're right.
Cedric the
Cedric,
Entertainer,
yeah.
all of them. When Bernie Mac was up there, man, it's just always dressed to the nines.
Okay, this is
Kings
Jake saying this, not Paul. They're almost like costumes.
Yeah, the Kings of Comedy, Cedric the Entertainer was wearing a sleeveless suit jacket. I didn't
that's
even know
right.
that was allowed. That's amazing. I feel like Greg Proops and I are playing, we're playing like a AAA ball, and those guys are the
Right,
Wow.
they're the big league. Well, that's when it comes to the best dressed, of course.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay, I'll say this: like you don't see it today, but Brent loves wearing black guy suits.
I'm a
He
tall
does.
guy, and they seem to fit better. I had the suit I wore at our 1 year anniversary.
Oh, like
Certainly.
NBA,
Very black.
NBA players.
Yes,
Like the
yes.
6-button suits.
Exactly, I
Yes.
had the 4-button, so
Exactly.
I'm not 7 foot. If I was 7 foot, I'd have the 6. So.
Exactly.
You get an extra button for every 2 inches above
That's-
6 feet.
You
so.
know the rules, exactly.
Yeah.
That's right.
So let's let our guests know where they would have most seen you from. I guess most people
Please.
probably recognize you from Best Week Ever.
These days, yes, I would say so, yeah.
But
Yeah.
I have a special place in my heart. I am the world's biggest fan of Mr. Show with Bob and David.
Oh, sure.
And
Absolutely.
every time my girlfriend is giving me a hard time, I always fall back upon
Oh, yes, he does.
my favorite. I do it all the time. I love to sing "Going on a Holiday." Like there's nothing that could drive her crazier than that, and I just love that.
So you're trying to fight fire with fire.
Oh, for sure.
Rather than resolve the conflict.
I do not do that.
Wow, that is a firm stance.
I don't
do
do
not
that.
do that.
That's for her to do. She has to resolve it.
She better figure out something.
She's got the spray jar of the resolve to fix any problem.
She knew what she was getting into. Do you say that to her a lot? You knew when you got in this relationship.
Well, she's
what
had
you were
9
getting
years in which to run. I'm
that's
amazed
true.
she hasn't, but
And we're about to get married in November, so I can't believe she's gonna do it.
Congratulations.
Oh, thank you.
Very exciting. I think you're off to a fine start.
Oh, thank you. she found this easier if she doesn't listen to the show.
Yes.
really? I didn't know that was official.
You did. Unfortunately,
She
you came in after our last guest, and our last guest,
Oh,
it
my.
was revealed that Jake and Cheryl have a very special night on Sunday nights, and it's porno Sunday night. What is it, Sunday porno?
Porno Sundays.
Porno
way
Sunday.
to keep the Sabbath, Jake. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, thank
That's
God.
not really work. I don't think even the Jews consider having sex on the Sabbath work.
No, I'm talking about porn
They-
night.
well,
Very sacred, holy.
You're right. You got to put it in the DVD player. That's considered work. That's not good.
Damn it.
No, it's, yeah.
So, which do you get recognized for most?
No, it would be Best Week Ever. I would say for a while there was Tenacious D. I would say most people recognized me from that. They did not know quite who I was, but open mic host people would say to me. But yeah,
I always love those introductions. The next band asked me to read this.
that was always fun to do, and that was always a team effort. The three of us would sit together and work it out. Believe it or not, that actually was the work of 3 people.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, they were brilliant. I can see why everyone would want to contribute on them.
Oh, that was that show when we did those little shorts for HBO. This is Tenacious D we're talking about.
Yeah,
right.
That started. Really, most people became aware of it when we did those. They were little 15-minute shows on HBO back in the late '90s, and
Because you'd follow those little ones would follow the major shows that were only 45 minutes long, and you had to kill 15 minutes on HBO.
Yes.
Otherwise, you lose your audience for the next big show. So you would have great 15-minute shorts with Tenacious D. And
I don't know that that's the reason that they did it. I think that was the only amount of time that they would give us to do those shows.
I really thought it was like a space filler, because for the longest time they were always those 45. They were very strict with their shows
it
only
may
going
have been.
45 minutes. But then the next big show wouldn't be on for another 15 minutes. You've got to put something new and fresh.
Yeah.
And thusly they threw you guys in.
Although
there.
I don't think they ever did that again with anything else. I don't know that they had any other 15-minute shows.
Not that I remember.
Wasn't
Yeah.
so? Mr. Show wasn't 15-minute
No, it
ones.
was a half
That
an hour.
was your
Oh,
half
but
hour
here's
show.
the thing. Here's why. It's because we were 15-minute shows, but it was 2 back-to-back.
That makes sense.
So it was a half
so it
hour.
was a half hour.
Yeah, I remember the first time.
I'm glad we worked that out.
I remember the first time Tenacious D came along because, like I said, I loved Mr. Show. I still think it's brilliant. That and Upright Citizens Brigade to me are the 2 funniest things on the face of the planet.
I think Mr. Show really holds up. I gotta say,
Absolutely.
The last time I saw one was in the last handful of years, and I was pleasantly surprised.
Well, I was super pissed because I thought I was getting a new Mr. Show that night. Because, like, for some reason, someone said it was coming back on, and I was like, "Oh, great! There's Mr. Show." Then I turned on, and it was Tenacious D. I fell in love instantly. But I was super pissed when it wasn't Mr. Show with Bob and David.
Right. Well, there's definitely a similar sensibility.
Oh, for sure.
At work there, yeah,
For sure.
Yeah, yeah.
Certainly would love to see them do like a reunion season, even if it's just an episode.
Mr. Show or
Mr. Show,
Tenacious D?
yeah, Mr. Show.
I don't know when that will ever happen, but it's a lot of people have asked that, but it's like
I mean, everyone left on good terms, right? It's
Oh,
not like
yeah.
Cheech and Chong when they
No.
broke up and they didn't want to talk to each other for the longest time.
Everybody's on good terms. It's just like to get everybody together at the same time,
Especially
and
as
then,
they've all
but-
gotten so much bigger.
Yeah, but it's also like, what would we do? You know, because it was so much. It was so much of its time in a way that to get back into that mindset, and it really is about Bob and David. You know, so it really depends on where they are and how they would feel about doing that, because that show was them.
Yeah.
You know, as much as we all contributed what we contributed, like the mindset of that show. It all came through them. Everything that we wrote went through them, and they shaped it and made it, their voice. So, but it would be interesting to see, I think, where those guys are comedically now, where they would be as a team.
Yeah. Just the
together.
experiences that they both have now had separately with
Absolutely.
everything else in their careers
Yeah.
to bring whatever they thought was funny and then combine it again. I think
Yeah.
it would. I'd love to see it as a one time like stage show where they would really write up something,
Yeah.
bring back all of the great character players that they had coming in
Yeah.
and play with them, and do a great like 1 to 1.5 hour like live stage show that you do just a very short run, maybe
Yeah.
like just 3 cities. You do L.A., New York, and Chicago, and boom, it just, and then record one of them and put it out as a DVD. I know I would be there the first day it came out on DVD at the Best Buy, waiting in line for them to open up.
They did that like a handful of years ago. They did a brief tour that I didn't do on the road, but I did in L.A. Did a few sketches in L.A. So I think it'll probably be another while yet before anything like that happens again. But I hope it happens again.
I'm gonna keep hope alive, man.
Yeah.
Well, what do you think of? I think a similar thing has been tried by the Kids in the Hall now. Twice
yeah.
they had a tour about 5-6 years ago. Went with my old girlfriend in Chicago, and then now I hear they're on IFC with a miniseries, and it's
Yeah.
it's
Let me
good
tell
reviews.
you something.
It has. I've
That
seen a couple
thing,
episodes.
It's hilarious.
Wow.
Death Comes to Town.
Wow.
I
Yeah.
was really excited by it, and I had no idea what to expect, really, because I knew it was kind of a narrative. It was a miniseries, and it's like, wow, this is interesting. This is all going to be taking place. It's not going to be sketches. It's all in one place. And I absolutely love it. And those guys were such an inspiration. Like I remember watching them for the first time in Philadelphia when I've been doing stand up for a handful of years at that point, and I remember being blown away by them, like realizing, wow, this is the next step forward for sketch comedy. Because every handful of years something comes along and kind of changes the game a little bit. And it was the first thing for me, I think, since say SCTV, because I think there was stuff like the Ben Stiller Show, which I really enjoyed at the time, but it didn't. I don't know. It didn't have that thing that Kids in the Hall had, where wow, these guys are really working on a whole different level.
Right.
I was so excited that I got to see them when they were doing those live shows.
Yeah.
When they kind of did a reunion tour of the way they used to do things in Toronto, where they said, we're going to get together on Monday, we're going to write all week, and then by Saturday we're going to put up a show.
That's cool.
It was amazing because they had so much energy. They were clearly like energized by doing that and getting back to that and having a good time, but also doing really, really funny stuff. And then they did a tour after that, but it was great to see.
Yeah, I really do like the new series. I'm glad that they did that instead of going and doing another movie. I really liked, was it Brain Candy? Is that what it's called?
Brain Candy.
Yeah, which it's a great film, but I don't think that it works as well for them in that kind of way. I don't know. I like seeing for a half hour be able to be laugh out loud for a half hour like that, and then know that next week there's going to be another episode. Whereas when you've got an hour and a half to 2 hours of them, it's like you it's hard to keep that level of comedy when there's so much funny stuff going on. And it just kind of I don't know. It always just tapered off a little bit in the movie.
And to do something different, like they had done that movie and they had done sketch, and then let's try something we haven't tried before as a team. And I think that movie was troubled by. I don't think they were all kind of in the same place at the same time when they were doing that. I think the team had, the show had ended and then they were doing this, and it might have been maybe a little too soon to get together.
Yeah,
again
that was
and
pretty
try to
quick
do a
after.
movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the paycheck that was probably offered to him because they were so hot at that time was probably tough to say no to. Like,
Yeah, or,
we can take a break after this, guys, because we've got hundreds of thousands of dollars we can sit on.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I don't think they operate on such a crass level that it was so much about the money. But I think that I just think that the dynamic of a team is a really tough thing at times. Look, I don't have to tell you three.
Yeah, that's
right.
But it's really like to get it is like herding cats to a certain degree. But it's also like that's also the magic of teams is that when it's really working, there's nothing better. But when it's not working, it's really not working.